If I had a dollar for every time this question hit my DMs, I'd probably have like, I don't know, 15 bucks a month or something. So it's a good one. The question is, I'm buying a property and there's leases on it, maybe verbal or written. What do I have to do when I own it to make sure that those leases are, for me? First, I'm Jennifer Rowlands, real estate investment educator, advocate, and broker at One Focus Property Management. Second, congratulations! I'm so freaking jazzed you bought a rental property. All right, you've got a couple of questions. Makes sense. First of all my advice is for the state of Pennsylvania. I am licensed here. I'm not licensed anywhere else, so you got to find somebody who makes videos in your state maybe, or a great property manager. So what you're going to do during the due diligence period is identify what kind of leases they are. So typically they're in writing. They may be verbal. Now, no matter how the lease exists, it does in Pennsylvania, it's called runs with the land. The lease goes with the land. So if the buyer and the tenant have a lease in place, when you buy it, the only thing that really changes is that you're the landlord who the rent is due to, and you have the responsibilities of the landlord. The terms of that lease remain. Now, maybe the terms are that it's for a very long time into the future. Maybe those terms are short and maybe month-to-month terms. They might be desirable or undesirable to you. So your question is, what do I have to do? Well, if you simply do nothing, whatever is in place will continue with you. So your main job during the due diligence period is to determine what's in place. I'm going to give you a couple of examples and how you might consider handling it. Let's say there's a really great lease in place. It has great terms. It's clear. Who does what, and you don't really have any unanswered questions. Maybe it continues for a month-to-month basis, or it continues for a year or more. So if it continues for a period of time into the future, you can approach the tenant and offer a renewal or to put it in your name. It's truly not necessary under the eyes of the law. That lease is yours and would stand up even if it does not have your name on it. So you're fine that way. Typically, when the lease is in fine shape, we will wait until it expires and then make an offer of a renewal to the tenant if they're eligible for renewal that's on our template and meets our particular business practices. So that's how we'll typically do it. Now, you might have a lease in writing, but it's unclear. It doesn't cover absolutely everything. I've seen probably thousands of leases at this point, and some of them are comically unenforceable or unclear or even illegible. So you might have a situation where it's in writing, but things are a little unclear. I would treat that almost like a verbal lease. Verbal leases are really tricky, right? They're allowed here in the state of Pennsylvania, but if you have an enforcement issue and you end up in court, it is a verbal testimony of one party to the other. This is something that's really easily handled prior to closing with an estoppel certificate. An estoppel certificate is something that if you're using a realtor, they might be able to help you, or your closing agent lawyer might be able to help you with, but it's simply a declaration in writing of the terms of an agreement to make things clear where maybe they were unclear at a point in time, so that when it transfers, you have some more details. When I have verbal leases, it is my number one goal to get them onto written. So I will do everything in my power when that lease is available to make an offer for a written lease. So to let you know, estoppel certificates are a possibility. So is simply just making an offer of renewal as soon as possible. You don't necessarily have to have the estoppel certificate, but it can make it a little cleaner if you do. You got questions about this? I'd love to answer them. Let me know in the comments. I'll get back to you.